Well, welcome back, Regina. Welcome back. And start either on your back or in a seat. Just leave that optional for you today. Just take the first couple of minutes to just reconnect, to drop in, feel the ground beneath you. Just scanning for any little micro tensions, any little kind of agitations or holdings that don't even really feel like holdings, until you realize your fingers are restless, or you feel a little fidgety somewhere in the body. So relax the throat, relax the root of the tongue. Let there be a sense of more space or clarity in your head. The movement of your breath. And take a moment just before we begin to move to acknowledge your commitment, to your intention for making regular time, for coming back week after week, year after year. Let's take another 2 or 3 breaths here. Establishing your own level of deep internal awareness. And then let your eyes come open. Come from your seat, if you're sitting, down onto your back. Bring your feet to stand on the floor. Just come down onto a comfortable lying down position with your feet on the floor behind your hips. And then a breath in, where on the exhalation, you're tightening up through the abdomen, through the belly, lengthening and pressing the lumbar spine into the floor. Take a few breaths like that, just a little stronger, a little more active exhalation, engaging support around the band of your core. Five more breaths. Feel free to hold all the way through to the end, and there's the natural completion of exhalation. 3 more like that. 3 more. Filling up on the inhale, exhaling, engaging. Go to inhale and then just normal, natural exhalation. And then we'll bring the hands together behind the head. We'll take a breath in here that might feel like a little bit more of an arch, a little more intentional arch in the back and the spine. And then on the exhale, you're gonna bring the elbows in and turn, give yourself a little twist, take opposite elbow to knee. You're gonna bring one foot off the floor to bring that knee toward the elbow. And you're gonna inhale, return to the floor, exhale, go the other way. Opposite pair. Side to side, back and forth like that at your own pace. And just go. Just keep going. See if you can feel for both the rotation and the squeeze into the side of the waist. Let's do 3 more to each side, 3 more each pairing. Good, so we'll let the head go. The feet are on the floor. Take a breath here. And then come in and out of bridge pose. 5 rounds of your breath, pressing the feet, exhaling to come up, sweeping the arms up and over your head to the floor. Inhaling to come down. Good, let's just leave the arms wherever you want to have the arms. If you want to use them for support, use them for a little extra support and come back into bridge pose. If your fingertips reach all the way to your heels and you can stand on your fingertips, you might try that. Or just grab onto the edges of your mat. Stretch your mat towards your feet. Stretch your mat away from your shoulders. Press the feet, lift the hips. comfortable, a little stronger, maybe a little higher if it doesn't bother your back. One more full breath in and out. Good, maybe arms overhead, roll the spine back down like you were coming out of shoulder stand. And then bring your knees into your chest. Very gently back and forth across the low back. Good, and then just back and forth with your legs, one heel toward the ceiling. I feel your hamstrings extend, the backs of your knees open up. And then we'll take both legs to knees right over your hip sockets and your lower legs out. So you're making like right angles at the knees. And we'll keep the pelvis tucked a bit, so the lumbar spine lengthened and flat into the floor. And then we'll just touch the floor, alternating one big toe, the other big toe, right big toe, left big toe. Try to keep that activated, engaged lower abdomen. It's very low, more like pelvic abs. At your own pace, you can go fast if you want to go fast. Take a nice, easy, sort of medium-sized pace here. If you want to go slow, you can go slow. Let's see if we can go maybe one more minute. Stop when you need to stop. Take another couple of breaths if you can. Good, and release. Both legs long, arms long over your head, hook your thumbs together, pull. Good, and then feet to the floor and roll to one side and give the palms a press to the floor to come up. Come to all fours. Breathe through a few rounds of cow pose and cat pose. You want to take cat pose to child's pose. Move however you feel inspired to move. Do your sides need a little more extension? You need to wag your tail. Let's go one more round. And then from all fours, let's go forward with the left hand, left fingertips, back with the right toes. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, lift and extend. On the inhale, just touch the floor. Good. On this one, balance and hold. Two more breaths. Good. And then replant left palm, right knee, maybe breathe through one round of cow pose and cat pose. And then all fours, left toes go back, your right fingertips come forward, take a breath in. On exhale, lift. Hold for 5 breaths. Good, exhale, palm to the floor. Both knees to the floor. Curl your toes under. Push your hips back behind your knees a bit. Curl toes under, press the lift. Feel your strong legs take you up and back into downward facing dog. Take just a couple of more breaths here. Move in whatever way, again, you feel inspired to move. You just need to keep making a little more length in the lower legs or the backs of your knees. And then set your feet back a little further. Go back a little more toward the back of your mat so that when you shift forward, you're in a nice high push-up position, nicely extended and aligned. And then wait for exhale and go back. Just slightly wider, more open stance. Inhale to high push-up. Exhale, go back. Inhale forward. Exhale. 2 more. Feel your belly pull you up and back. Good, and then feet a little bit more forward as for your downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then drop your knees. Take the knees wide on the mat, bring your big toes together, hips to your heels, arms down alongside you, over your knees, around the fronts of your knees. One more breath in child's pose. Go forward with the palms again, come back up onto all fours, right? Find the curled under toes. See if you can go back a little farther with your hips, a little more behind your knees, more toward your heels. And then do that same push, lift the knees, and just go nice and slow. So you feel the work, the engagement of your quadriceps to bring you into downward facing dog. Take another breath. And then go back again with your feet so that when you shift forward, you're once again in the high push-up position. And then just do any amount of flexion in your elbows. So little tiny push-ups, just enough to feel the power of your arms to push you away from the floor. Like 5. You're back in downward facing dog, and then you're forward a little bit with your feet. Feet come up under the hips. Let your fingers and hands come back towards your feet. Bend your knees. Just being a nice, easy kind of ragdoll forward fold. For one more breath. And then come all the way up to stand up. Roll the shoulders and take a breath in mountain pose. Tadasana. Good. And then inhale. Take an inhale. Reach the arms wide, reach the arms up overhead, lift your heels. A little wider between your feet if you just want a little more stability. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, lower the heels, lower the arms. Once more. Good. The shoulders, take a breath. Step the feet out wide as you're comfortable. Wide that's good for you, wide so that when you bend your knees and you lower into this little squat, your knees feel fine. Your knees are okay. And just go up and down. Or down and up. And trying as well as you can to stay more upright in the spine. So shoulders back, drop the pelvis and come up. So you're trying to mitigate too much leaning forward. So only go as far as that takes you, right? A more upright spine, more shoulders back, more legs. When you lean forward, you take a little bit of the work out of your legs. Let's keep it all in the legs. 4 more. Yeah, okay. And then let that go and come to the front of your mat. And pick up your right foot and step it back. Comfortable stance, like warrior 1. So the whole foot on the floor angled, right? Such that when you breathe in and reach forward and take your arms over your head, and get a feeling for the length of that back leg, how it's aligned with your hip socket, how you feel in your ankle. Make any adjustments to the stance of that foot that you don't feel any sense of strain or discomfort at the hip or the knee or the ankle. 1 more. Come forward with the right foot. Pick up the left foot, step it back. The feeling for 5, warrior 1. Step left foot forward. Okay, and then take just a shorter step back with your right foot. So more for like pyramid pose. And let's go into like this modified warrior 1 on the inhale. So really short step between front foot, back foot. This is your inhale, and your exhale is extended legs fold. Inhale, reach up, slight bend in your front knee. Exhale, extending the front knee. It doesn't have to lock as you fold over that leg. If you have problems, challenges reaching all the way to the floor, have a couple of blocks. And then we'll come up. And then lower your hands and arms and bring forward your left foot. Short step back, left foot. Sorry, right foot comes forward, left foot goes back. Inhale, slight bend of the front knee like warrior 1. Exhale, pyramid pose. Make the movement consonant with your breath. Once more. We'll inhale and come up. Exhale, arms come down, step forward, your left foot. Take a breath. Okay, and then you might have just handy a blanket if you feel like you need a blanket to have a little bit of height behind your heels, under your heels, right? So sometimes if we're wide with the feet and the feet are turned slightly outward and we try to sit back in the squat, the heels lift. There's just tightness in the ankles and the heels might want to just lift off the floor. And here you have some support underneath your heels. And all we're going to do is sit in the squat and then try to just shoot yourself straight back up, right? Again, using feet, using the push of your feet, stand all the way up. So we're not doing this reaching out thing to come down and up. See if you can stay close with your hands and your arms. If getting even that low is a challenge, just go as low as you can. We're not looking to strain the knee joints. If there are issues with the knee joints, if you can squat, go as low as you can. The lower you go, the more you have to work to get up. Let's do 4 more. And 1 more. Good. Okay, and you can set that aside if you're using a blanket, set that aside for later. Good. Let's go a wide stance with your feet again. Maybe stretch out a little wider than you might normally for triangle pose, but safe, comfortable, safe for you, appropriate for your body. A little wider with the feet if that's available. And come up, long extension up through the arm that's coming forward and then down. Reach into triangle pose, rotate the rib cage. Find a little bit of twisting action. All right, look, take your gaze where it's comfortable for you to breathe. Five more breaths. We'll have 10 breaths. Feel a strong navel to spine. Exhale. Exhale, come overhead with your arm. Just slow, reach that top arm up over your ear. Bend your left knee. Turn everything to reach for the floor. Both hands reach for the floor. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Slide your left foot back high, push-up position. Exhale, come down to the floor. Inhale. As much back bend as you're comfortable with. All fours, curl your toes under, hips behind your knees, downward facing dog. Good. Take 3 more breaths in downward facing dog. Thought I smelled something burning. All is well. All is well. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward, take a big step, or as many steps as you want. As many steps as you need to come back to the top of your mat. Find a half forward fold. Exhale all the way forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. So we'll take that wide stance again and go back to triangle pose. Right foot turned outward, left heel turned back slightly wider, if that's stable. If that's stable in your feet and your body and your legs. Big breath in, reach like you're doing a reverse, and then keep all of that length as you come in. Rotate the rib cage, spine, rotate the rib cage, spine. Strong navel to spine on the exhale. Head position, neck position where it's comfortable to breathe, where you can breathe freely. Give yourself a little bit more legs. Can you feel a little bit more press of feet? A little bit more energetic lighting up in your legs. Two more breaths. Top arm, take the top arm over, long reach. And then turn everything to reach and find the floor again. And then slide back, right foot high push-up position. Stabilize your shoulders. And then lower down. Inhale, comfortable upper back bend. Exhale, all fours, hips behind your knees, push, lift. Adho Mukha Shavasana. One more breath, downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward, half forward fold. Exhale all the way, forward fold. Inhale, come up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms to your heart. Okay, let's go. One more wide-legged standing pose of Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. That nice wide stance, comfortable for you. So you can feel the challenge you're trying to deliver to your legs to hold you up as you bend into your front knee. Anchor the back foot to the floor. Feel the weight of your arms, extend, reach. Four more breaths. Squeeze the arms, the last breath. Feel the strength and the length of your arms all the way to your fingertips. And then let the arms come down and turn in your feet. Come in a little closer with the toes turned outward. And then find the eagle pose bind of your arms. Bend your knees, forward fold. Take 3 or 4 breaths. Just let the arms fall, feel the weight of the arms fall. Let the arms unravel, come back upright with your spine, and your spine, turn back your left heel, maybe go out a little farther. Wide stance, warrior 2. Let the legs have some work. Let the legs have some fun. Arms wide. 10 breaths. Challenge yourself to just every now and then bend that front knee a little more. Back off when you need to back off and just come in a little deeper. Press away. 3 more breaths. Lower the arms. Come in with the right toes. Come in a little closer. Can you remember the bind of your arms that you did the first time? Take the opposite eagle pose bind of your arms. Toes out, knees soft, knees bent, forward fold, 3 or 4 breaths. Good. Arms unravel, let the hands go. Can you reach for the floor, fingertips or palms, and then just heel, toe your feet back in until your heels are in Uttanasana, feet are in forward fold Uttanasana. Good, come all the way up to stand, breathe in, arms overhead, palms touch overhead, exhale. Palms to your heart. Okay, find the high push-up position. Take a side plank pose from there. 5 breaths. Slowly, with some control, with some precision, switch sides. Give the mat a little squeeze with your fingertips. Both hands to the floor. Lower your knees. Knees wide, toes together. Hips to your heels, arms alongside you. Good, and then let's come up and find a seat, comfortable seat that you can modify in any way you want to, a seated twist. We'll do a twist. If you want to bring right heel to left hip, cross the left foot over. Sit tall, have some support behind your hips. If that helps you just to rise up a little taller, find a little more space to rotate, and then just knee to chest. Take a breath in and just pull knee to chest, chest to knee. Take a breath in, reach up your left arm, rotate back as you breathe out. Length through the arm, length through the spine. Create all of the space you can between your vertebrae, and then let the spine rotate through those spaces, vertebrae and discs, vertebra, vertebral discs. So good for helping to keep those intervertebral discs hydrated, right? Kind of juicy. And we move them in all of the directions that they can be moved, so they get kind of squeezed, plumped. One more breath on this side. Yeah, let the arms go, let the shoulders go. Switch the cross of your legs. Knee to chest, chest to knee. And then keep a hold with your left hand. Reach up, take a breath in, right arm up as high, as tall as you can reach your right arm, as far back as you can reach your right arm, onto the floor behind your back, or give yourself a little space, or a little more space to lean. You can lean back, left elbow, right knee. Two more breaths. Gently release and uncross and take both legs out. Both heels out, both legs long. And feel the backs of your knees open up a bit. Feel the length along the backs of your calves. Backs of your heels and ankles on the floor, but flexed and the top of your ankle, so your toes pointed back toward you. And then bring your palms next to your hips, and then give a push to extend your elbows, chest a little forward, shoulder blades a little more back, arms a little more back. Give a little squeeze with your fingertips. Relieve some of the pressure in your wrist by squeezing fingertips to the floor. Oh, and then let that go, let that go. If it's available, you can balance back. We're not going to hold boat pose, but if you can reach your feet with your hands, you can grab onto your big toes, or you can grab onto the outside edges of your feet, or you can just grab onto your ankles, but then push out and extend and pull your chest toward your legs. You pull the lumbar spine up and in, natural curve of lumbar spine, shoulders back, a couple more breaths. Yeah, good. And then just fold at your knees, bring your feet back to the floor, go out to the edge under your mat with your feet. And then you can round down now. So if you want to concave, just roll all the way down with some precision, with some control. And then stretch your heels out and stretch your arms long over your head, all the way up. Let's bring the feet up to stand on the floor, and then press your feet enough to get your hips up, but then take just your left forearm to the space of your lumbar spine, back of your waist, and then set your hips back down on the floor. Take another couple of breaths, and we'll switch arms. And then when you're ready, press the feet, take your left arm out from behind you, bring your right arm there. Relax all the way up into the right upper back, right elbow, right shoulder blade. One more breath here. Good, so let's come off of the right arm and then take your left arm up overhead again. Lift your head, bend the elbow, bring the palm, bring the fingertips to the upper back, and then take right hand to left elbow and then push your feet. Push your feet almost so that your hips come off the floor. You just settle the weight of your head back into your arm a little more. Then lower your hips. Take 3 more breaths. And switch arms. When you're ready, lift your head, bring right hand to your back, left hand to right elbow. Push your feet, settle the weight of your head into the crook of your elbow or your forearm. Good. Let's let that go. And then take the arms wide. Let's take the eagle pose arms again. So if you're taking your right arm over left arm, intertwining the forearms, left fingertips to right palm, rest the arms on your head, and then cross right leg over left leg. And then let your hips, knees, and feet go to the right. Let whatever little counter turn, little counter twist that happens up through rib cage and shoulders and arms. Come in and out of that little twist a few times. Couple more. Come back up and switch everything over to left over right. This will be our final little twisting pattern, movement, pose. Is there anything about the posture itself or the movement in the posture that is revealing any little pockets of tightness or any kind of little imbalance in how much mobility you have one way versus the other way? Just always noticing, staying close. We'll come back up, we'll let the arms go, we'll let the legs go. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do our extended Shavasana. We're going to take a 10-minute Shavasana. And if you can stay for that, please stay for a nice long extended Shavasana. And then if you can even stay to sit, we'll sit for 5. Make all necessary accommodations and adjustments so that you are supported and very comfortable, warm. Let yourself be warm. When you're warm, you can kind of just more fully enjoy the benefits of rest. And with that, when you're not distracted, if you need any extra layers, grab those, adjust the lighting, support where you want support. It's worth taking extra time just to make it right. These fairy tale analogies a lot, but this is very Prince or Princess and the Pea. No discomfort, no effort, no distractions. Just the body at rest, The mind at rest. The breath coming and going in its own time. Just notice as you rest, as you're here longer. Do you go deeper? Is there any tension in your face, between your brows? Find yourself getting lost in a train of thought. Notice the effect on your body. And then come back to rest. Take another minute in Shavasana. Give yourself another 4 or 5 breaths. Ready to come to your side. Bring yourself from your back, maybe bring your feet up, yourself shift to one side. Pause on your side for a moment, and when you're ready to come to sit, bring yourself up to sit. You can arrange yourself comfortably, let your eyes stay closed or soft. So establishing ourselves in this embodied presence. For this short meditation, just let awareness stay very wide. Notice breath, notice sensation in the body, notice sounds, notice temperature, notice thoughts. Notice it all from the ground of your embodied presence. And let your eyes come open. Take another breath or two before you move into the rest of your evening. And just very simply, very humbly, close our practice